What's up, guys? This is Kevin Jackwitz with the Cage Review. How is everybody doing today? So I got some news I saw in this article I wanted to share with everybody, especially if you're a fan of the DCEU or Superman, Henry Cavill. I am a huge Superman fan. I did love Man of Steel, and I know there are people that loved it and people that hated it. I loved it. I thought the action sequences were some of the best that you've seen in a superhero movie, honestly. Like, I don't know of too many movies that can really top the action sequences in Man of Steel. And it was a really cool reintroduction to Superman. I think the only movie that did any better was Wonder Woman. And of course, in the DCEU, you don't have a great lineup of movies to choose from. You got Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Justice League. But to me, this is head and shoulders above those movies. So I wanted to take a look at this because if they are making Superman, Man of Steel 2, then I'm all on board for that. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and I wanted to get exactly what the article says. So ladies and gentlemen, Man of Steel 2 is in active development, make no mistake about it. The sequel to Zack Snyder's divisive franchise starter may have invariably slipped down the pecking order over at Warner Brothers, who are still in the process of whipping their DC Extended Universe into shape after the disappointments of BVS, Suicide Squad, and more recently the Justice League. But on its way, as confirmed by a report just yesterday, when it will arrive is obviously unknown. But if it wasn't for the poor performance of the aforementioned team-up flick, we may have already received an official announcement from the studio. That's because the original plan was to reveal Man of Steel 2's release date and who will be directing it this month. So what happened? Well, like we just said, Justice League ended up disappointing, and that threw everything off track. Mario Francisco Robles of Revenge of the Fans has the scoop, as he often does these days, claiming that Warner Brothers were high on Superman after test screenings of Justice League showed that the audiences were responding well to the character. Not only that, but they also assumed that the Snyder-Whedon pick was going to be a hit and planned to ride that positive wave it would have created right into an official announcement for Man of Steel 2 this month. But we all know what ended up happening. Justice League failed to impress both critically and commercially and wound up mired in controversy. How exactly this impacted Soup's next solo outing isn't clear, but Robles speculates it hurt Warner Brothers' negotiations with potential director, which would make sense. That, combined with the shakeup going on behind the scenes at the studio, has now led to a delay in getting Man of Steel 2 off the ground. Fear not, though, as Robles says that we'll be receiving an announcement pretty soon, which must mean that Warner Brothers is ready to get the gears turning again and likely also has a director in place to guide the Big Blue Boy Scouts' next solo outing. Who that'll be and when we'll hear anything concrete remains to be seen, but all signs point that Man of Steel 2 becoming a reality sooner rather than later. And there's been other reports, there's actually been several reports that Man of Steel 2 is in active development right now. So that's really, really good for me. They just had a huge shakeup. They got rid of a lot of people at Warner Brothers DCEU division. They brought some new fresh faces in. They're still carrying on with the Flashpoint movie, which I don't know why. I think that's a mistake. I was listening to one other person talk about it, and she was saying that you can't get somebody invested in a series that nobody really cares about. You can't make a movie that's going to change up this whole universe if nobody cares about the universe, and I agree. So I'm not really all excited about them doing a Flashpoint movie. I think you really need to build these characters up and get people invested first. But having said that, people are invested in Superman already. And so I do think that coming back and doing Man of Steel 2 is a great idea. And being a Superman fan, I'm going to go see it regardless. The first one I thought was amazing. So that's my thoughts on Man of Steel 2 in production. That is the news. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwitz. Cage Nation out.